Maybe she will align with Paul Heyman.
Paul Heyman's super good on the mic, but sometimes he goes on too long.
Well, I can't remember if it was. We talked about it. It was like I feel like part of that might have just been a rib on Paul. I think that they were just like, keep going.
Yeah.
So he was just like suplex, and they were like, keep going.
And to his credit, it was still an entertaining, but sometimes it's just like, okay, you could shorten this up a little. You're one of the best on the mic in the company.
Yeah.
There's I won't go through who the best are, but you're one of the best. Shorten it up once in a while.
Yeah, just like
just a little bit.
Rein it in. We got you at a 9. We need you at about a 6. A 6 still kicks the shit out of most people in this company. So
definitely.
let's just rein it in a little bit.
Yes.
Well, folks.
Plus, we didn't even talking about Paul Heyman.
Okay.
If people didn't know, and if you didn't know.
Now you know.
Now you know, and if you didn't know, you should go and slap yourself if you're a wrestling fan.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Heyman's DVD.
Yes, the DVD is out. I still haven't gotten a chance to watch it, but it looks phenomenal. It looks really, really good. Because you get some old, you'll get old ECW stuff, and
it's pretty low on the fluff. You know how with these kind of things they usually fluff up the people so bad.
Oh yeah,
and they do a little bit in this, but they do a pretty good job of kind of stressing how Paul Heyman's a bit of a dick.
Oh yeah.
But they do fluff it up a little, but that's kind of to be expected.
Well, it is for sure. I would have expected that. It's just they don't tend to make a DVD of you, I guess, if they're not gonna like you say, kind of fluff you up a little bit. But most people in the industry know that Paul's a bit of a jerk. So it's like it helps that they can kind of fluff it up a little bit, but if they keep it objective, they don't like Self-Destruction of the Ultimate Warrior. Which is one of the most entertaining documentaries they've ever done, but it's the least least objective, which they had to retcon with its own different, which I thought was quite funny.
So are we going to talk Ambrose and Rollins, or are we ending the podcast?
Let's talk Ambrose and Rollins.
Well,
yeah.
It's not really much that you can say. I mean,
Oh, there's lots I can say.
I know, but it's just always positive with them. I mean, there's never a dull match.
I know, it's awesome.
Yeah, there's no down moments.
They
in one of their matches.
One of the worst stipulations that you could possibly have, even though it made sense from a storyline perspective.
Lumberjack match.
The promo that Ambrose cut, I guess when he announced that he wanted it, he's like, we'll have this wall of flesh, of the bodies that we stacked. And I'm like, oh my God, I love a Lumberjack.
Yeah, exactly. It's like he is talking about going to war with the whole locker room.
Yeah. And
it's like, is he teaming with Rollins or is he wrestling Rollins?
But yeah, I just love how he built up this Lumberjack match. Like, we're going to be in the ring, and the people keeping us in the ring are the people that we have spent, a year and a half or whatever as the Shield kicking the shit out of.
Yeah.
Like, that was so, so good. And I always say this, but Ambrose is a national fucking treasure.
Yeah.
He is the greatest thing. But I read that, now, mind you, this could be dirt sheets, but I read that WWE doesn't really think that Ambrose's main spot position worthy yet.
Yeah, I heard.
It's really depressing. And it's kind of, they said yet, so there's still hope.
Right.
But it makes me so scared for Ambrose.
A little bit, yeah. Well, put a mask on him. See if it improves his body language. And you know what? That's funny. They could put a mask on him, and he would sell the shit out of it. He'd be like, "I am officially the greatest masked wrestler in the history of this company."
I don't want to sell Rollins short because Rollins is also one of my favorites. It's just I gotta choose between my boys, and it's Ambrose.
You choose him?
I choose him.
And there's a picture of a train. I thought the match at SummerSlam was really good. The ending was really good. And the match on Raw the next night was even better. Like the match on Raw topped it in almost every way. Like it was like, oh, this is great. And I really like the spin that they put on the Lumberjack match when they get away from the Lumberjacks and they're just fighting through the crowd and the Lumberjacks are like, what are we supposed to do?
Kane comes
Kane comes out. He's like, what are you doing? Go get them. And they're like, all right.
Do your draw.
Yeah, he's like, all right.
Even my older brother, who doesn't really watch wrestling, like he watches it very, very casually. Like if Raw happens to be on, he's like making food or something. He might watch some of it, but he messaged me before the pay-per-view. He's like, so how are you watching it?
Nice.
I'm not gonna say. I have the network for $9.99.
Right, exactly.
Or
$11.99
Canada wide. Get it now.
Exactly.
Even he
On Rogers
texted me during the match.
TV.
He's like, "This is awesome."
Yeah.
I'm like, I know.
It was really fantastic. There really wasn't a low point in the show. Like, I can't really remember a point in the show where I was like, this is kind of boring. Like,
some matches I didn't overly care about.
Right.
But that's more on me.
Yeah,
like, I
that's
didn't care
fair.
about Rusev and Swagger. Even though I
you know
kind
what?
of like Rusev. So
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting a little tired of the gimmick.
A little bit,
kinda.
yeah. It is getting a little cringeworthy, but it's Rusev. Rusev is one of these things where it's like he's kind of like Iron Sheik, but he obviously doesn't have the charisma because he's not speaking for himself.
Yeah.
But
Lana is very good.
Lana is really good.
But the gimmick's been kind of going on.
Yeah,
and it's kind of getting
a
a
little
little
bit.
old.
It is getting old.
She needs to just come out in a bikini. Like, there's got to be something to up.
I don't know that outfit though.
That's
It's
true.
kinda-
No,
it's
that's
like
true. The
perfect
outfit
blend of,
is
like
yeah,
showing a little.
it's true.
Enough to get you going. Even
It's
though I don't
true.
even think she's like that hot.
No,
She's
just
good looking.
the body
Yeah,
is
Let
like
her
she's.
hair down.
Yeah, when she lets
That's
her
true.
she
That's
needs her
true.
hair down.
Let the hair down. That's true.
Agreed, Nick.
She needs somebody to like. This would be kind of interesting now. Like, let's say Rusev started going after that Intercontinental title, because eventually he's going to have to go after a title.
Oh, sure.
Like it's going to happen eventually. So maybe they start going after that Intercontinental because the U.S. title doesn't fucking matter. Who's even the U.S. champion
I
right
don't
now?
even
Isn't
know.
it Sheamus?
Yeah, Sheamus.
Oh,
Because nobody.
That explains
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Nobody gives a fuck about that.
Yeah.
Have the U.S. title be like the main title on Main Event when nobody watches it. So like, have him be going after that Intercontinental title, and you have a guy like Ziggler, and Ziggler can play like his like his seduction thing, like his Casanova or whatever.
Yeah.
And like I don't know, Rusev's like out on the outside or whatever. He backs Lana into the corner like he's gonna do something, and all he does is reaches around back and just lets the bun down.
Nice.
Like, that's sexy as hell. Like,
Nice.
and she's
I
just
would
like, oh
TiVo
my god.
that and like rewind, play, rewind, play, rewind, play.
Like, that's
And I'm done.
fantastic.
All night long.
All night long. Is that like, so I mean, okay, there's a good question where we're talking about Rusev. This feud with Swagger is basically over because now they're almost making Swagger look a little cartoony again.
Yeah.
Like the not just losing
Mark
to
Henry's
Cesaro,
kinda
but
taking over.
yeah, like not like losing to Cesaro, but like the way he lost to Cesaro. Yeah, and now it looks like they're moving him on to Mark Henry, which is good because they give him like a veteran that knows what he's doing in there and everything
Somebody
like
gonna
that.
get their ass kicked.
Somebody gonna get their ass kicked. Somebody gonna get their wig split. I love his theme song.
Yeah, me too.
Mark Henry's theme song for best theme song ever.
It is a really good
It's
theme
up there
song.
with The Shield. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, except you can basically hear it with
Yeah, but
Reigns.
it doesn't
but
have
it's
the same.
no, it doesn't.
It sounds
really
different,
doesn't.
and it doesn't have that Sierra Hotel,
Right.
Because that gives people enough time to be like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
Before the first.
It's true. Like, I remember after Undertaker's match with, oh crap, who was it with? Not obviously it wasn't this WrestleMania, but last. I can't remember who he wrestled last WrestleMania.
Triple H.
Was
No.
it Triple H again? No,
No, that
no,
was
that was
before.
the year before.
Punk?
Punk. It
Punk,
was
yes.
Punk. It was
Yes.
Punk. So after that match, yeah, because that was at like a little after Paul Bearer had died. Like, Taker's in the ring and he's cutting a promo, and then fucking Sierra Hotel, and the whole crowd's just like, they don't even cheer. They're just like, oh, like 20,000 people just, oh.
I look at like my little brother and I'm like, we're as a wrestling fan, because he's only been in it for a few years. You're gonna have those times where you're gonna be glad you were a wrestling fan at that time, and I think the Shield. I look at him, I go, the Shield was one of those for you.
Yeah,
oh, most definitely.
You'll look back and you'll be like, I saw the Shield.
Yeah, I'm so glad I got to see these guys on TV every week. Yeah, absolutely.
Like with us, it goes back to like Attitude Era and all that shit.
It really does, because I mean, since the Attitude Era, you didn't really have a lot of stuff to like really entertain you.
Yeah,
and then the Shield came along, and you're like, oh.
It's all of a sudden, it's just like, okay, this is a moment.
Yeah.
Even if it didn't last long, maybe I guess, I don't know.
Where
would you guys put them in like a top stable thing? Because they weren't really around like a long time.
No, it's
they
true.
Weren't really, but they definitely left their mark.
They were around, what, a year and a half? Something like that? So, I mean, it was a bit of a short run, but at the same time, you gotta, for their own development, you gotta do other things.
Yeah.
Put on the best matches, like the best feuds. They did everything the best, pretty much.
And the Shield will eventually, I'm convinced that the Shield will eventually come back. When they're a little more mature, they'll come back and they'll revisit it. I can almost guarantee it. If we're talking like just the majors, like TNA and WWE and WCW and ECW, Raven's Flock for me is like it's a sentimental pick, but it's objectively it's really not up there, but like it's a sentimental pick because I love the Flock.
I like the Flock,
but I think if we're talking about the best ever, you're looking at NWO and DX.
Yeah,
and that's the thing, because when we're talking about short runs, those were short runs too. Because we think like, oh, WCW was this, but WCW didn't start getting hot until 97. And then by 2001, they were dead. So, I mean, like the company was hot for about 4 years. So you can't have a big run in there somewhere. But like for the NWO's run before it got too big for its own good, it was the greatest thing ever, because it was just like, you guys can do what you want, but the second that we think you're getting too exposed, we're going to come out and you're either going to join us or we're going to kill you off.
Yeah. But the thing that I liked about DX was, I mean, DX was small. The NWO just got
way too
big at the end.
Right. I think about how like Big Show describes it on the Monday Night Wars DVD. He's like, the NWO started out as this awesome idea because it was just like, it was a few of us, and we were, it was the perfect mix of things, because it was Scott Hall, one of the great technical wrestlers ever. It was I was about to say Kevin Smith. It was like,
that would be glorious.
That would have been amazing. It was Kevin Nash, 7-foot badass. You had Hulk Hogan, the biggest baby face in the world, turns heel, and you had all these things. But then 6 months later, you turn around, 6 limos pull up, 80 guys pop out, and they're part of the NWO.
Yeah.
And it's just like, so it just got way too big.
The thing that was good about the NWO, you almost had to go that route, though, because like it was taken over.
Yeah.
That was their thing, right?
It was.
So you kind of had to get too big.
Yeah.
So it has like the highest highs, but then like the lowest lows.
Yeah.
Just by default, I feel. Like maybe they didn't have to get so big so quick.
No.
But I mean, it's like when your whole thing is, we are literally going to take over WCW, it's like, well, they're going to have to get huge.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's not forgiving it. Like, it got shit at the end. Even though I'm a person that's not as harsh on it.
But then, like, I saw that you would branch off to, like, that's when you branched off to
like the
Wolfpack. And Wolfpack was undeniably, Wolfpack was our jam. When the Wolfpack came along,
Wolfpack.
We were like, okay, there's NWO Black and White and there's NWO Wolfpack, and we are Wolfpack marks for sure, because like not only did they have like the best theme song. Oh, sorry. Nick. Nice, sweet. Yeah. Nick's going to take a piss, and unfortunately, we won't have the audio on podcast this time like he did before. But yeah, so no, Wolfpack was always our jam because it was like, okay, you had Kevin Nash sort of splinter off, and at the time we all kind of liked Kevin Nash, and he was kind of big, but like so Nash went, Hall went with him. All of a sudden, okay, fucking Macho Man goes, and it's like, okay, so Macho Man's there. Fucking Sting goes with him. It's like, okay, Sting was the big one. That was the big one. When Sting went with the Wolfpack, it was like, okay, we're so maybe we were all just Sting fans, and we're just like, wherever Sting goes is where we're gonna. But like when that happened, outside of Hogan, NWO Black and White was kind of gutted.
Yeah.
Because it was Hogan and all these, not jobbers, but like all these other guys around him. Like the next biggest guy from Black and White would have been like, I don't know, Hennig, maybe. And it's just like, that's not going to do it.
Really
no, he was never
level that he was, and he was like,
no,
Perfect.
Not at all. Like Hennig was all about that gimmick.
Yeah.
Like the Mr. Perfect gimmick was what was amazing.
Him as Kurt Hennig wasn't as good, but Mr. Perfect is one of the best gimmicks and characters of all time.
It really
easily
was.
top 10 for me. I loved me some Mr. Perfect.
True enough. How's your piss, sir?
It was
6 out of 10.
If I had to rate it, it was definitely like an 8 out of 10.
Nice, right on.
I will have to change my rating of the beer to a 3 instead of a 2.5 because that piss
came out well.
Because it came out well on the other end.
Yeah.
Well, geez, we've had quite a discussion today, haven't we? We've had some times. We had some good times. We laughed a little. We cried a little. We disagreed about the Ice Bucket Challenge a little.
We disagreed on some wrestling too.
We disagreed on a little bit of wrestling. We made fun of autism in seagulls. Not autism as a thing, but autism in seagulls.
Yeah.
Anybody have any thoughts to close us out on?
I have no thoughts, period.
No thoughts, period.
I'm bringing sexy back.
Yeah. Witcher 3 in February.
Metal Gear
whenever Kojima decides he wants to release it, I guess.
Yeah, we never even really talked video games.
Not too much.
You promised me video games.
I know. I promised you video games. All right.
Well,
here we go.
That many video games.
I'll give you 5 minutes
This has
here.
been pretty long. What are we at?
We're a little over 2 hours.
Yeah, well, this is a
This is
a bomb
coming
podcast,
of
but not the bomb
podcast.
I'm coming out.
Amen. I want the world to know. Got to let
no
more. Hang on. We can't sing anymore, or else we're gonna get sued. Stop it! We're gonna get sued.
It's coming to your pocket.
My leg!
I took out his knee.
No. I saw the sign. It opened up my eyes. I saw the sign. Life is demanding without understanding. Come on! I saw the sign.
And it opened up my eyes. I saw the sign.
I was going,
drag you up.
Life where
and he
you
lost
belong.
it.
I saw the sign.
Tyler, we're gonna
Don't put me on the spot.
I am gonna put you on the spot. I'm gonna give you 5 minutes to talk about a video game topic of your choice.
What? I don't know.
Your choice. Go.
Pick a topic.
Go.
Well, we'll all talk about
Go.
it, but you pick the topic. And then
I'm
we'll
gonna talk about a little something. I was thinking about writing a blog article on onthegamely.blogspot.com about this.
That is
guys will get a sneak peek, in my
onthegamely.blogspot.com.
Thanks.
No worries.
Gamers don't appreciate anything
Okay.
these days. That's my headline.
All right.
My content is basically
Motherfucker
I've talked
gamer.
about this, but,
Motherfucker gamer.
Video games are so fucking good these days,
Right.
and gamers don't appreciate anything. I was on a Facebook group that I'm on. Somebody posted like a link to his website, and I never read the article because the fucking headline annoyed me.
Okay.
So I wasn't giving him a view.
What was the
headline? Was like, with Dragon Age Inquisition, can BioWare redeem themselves? And I'm like, are you a twat? I didn't say this.
You should have.
Why does BioWare, one of the more respected developers that makes classic RPGs, why do they have to redeem themselves? Are you really that pissed off over the ending of Mass Effect 3 that they have? Like they've gone and they've done their best to fix that.
That's what the whole Bioware beef is. The ending of Mass Effect 3?
Well, it must be because Bioware releases fucking amazing RPGs.
Right.
And I'm thinking, are you shitting me?
Right.
Like,
now you played Mass Effect 3.
I did.
Did you beat Mass Effect 3?
Negative.
Okay, no worries. I wanted to ask what your opinion was on the ending, but if you didn't beat it,
I
no
played
worries.
2 and 3.
I'm not a big video game guy.
Right, fair enough.
But yeah, like the ending was shit, and I understand the hatred for the ending. That's not my beef.
Mm-hmm.
It's just they don't need to redeem themselves. So it got me kind of thinking, like,
yeah, because like
is
you
that
said,
all it takes?
haven't they released a bunch of fucking DLC and
Yes.
shit that fixes that? So like, or not fixes it, but like makes it better.
Like gamers being like, this game looks like shit.
Yeah.
It's like maybe in context of others, but do you guys remember what it was fucking like to play Atari? Like,
yeah.
Or even like Nintendo, because that was more my jam. Atari was a little before my time. I mean,
Right.
I played it, but Nintendo was definitely where I got into it. It's like, do you guys remember 8-bit?
Yeah.
These graphics are phenomenal. It kind of takes me back to like Louis C.K. and his thing he had on Conan O'Brien. I know I've told you, where his basic thing was, everything is great and nobody is happy. And that was his whole thing. And don't get me wrong, I review things, so I'm critical of things. And I will say this game doesn't have good graphics and shit. But it's like I appreciate the technology of video games so much that I'm still kind of like astonished by where we are in games sometimes. Like I still play a game and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Like 20 years ago, I could never have imagined Minecraft. And I don't play Minecraft.
Right.
But the idea of Minecraft astonishes me.
And when you think about it, it's such a simple idea.
Yeah. I could never... A game like Rust or DayZ, like a survival game where you're building stuff and you're scavenging and all these players can kill you or help you. I could never have imagined
the level of like immersion that you get put into games, even like something like Skyrim, 4 years old. The level of immersion in Skyrim is fucking. I could lose myself in that game.
And it's like,
I could live a life in that game.
And it's like, that's not to say we can't criticize developers.
No.
And shit. Like on the topic of DayZ, they've been doing a terrible job of keeping content going for DayZ to take it out of fucking alpha, because it's probably going to be an alpha for years.
Is DayZ still in alpha?
Oh yeah, and Rust. Like all these great games are still in alpha.
Okay.
And I'm not saying like you can't be critical. Like I'm certainly critical of games. I'll call a shitty game.
Right.
And you do got to judge stuff like graphics based on the context of the time.
Absolutely.
And I understand that. But at the same time, it's like these guys supposedly love games, but they come up with like, does Bioware need to redeem themselves? No, Bioware doesn't owe you shit. Bioware has given you hundreds of hours of gameplay, good gameplay.
Right.
So it kind of got me.
I hear a lot of the same criticisms about Square.
Yeah.
Of course. Well, not Square Enix, whatever. About like, well, even like when they put out Final Fantasy 13.
Yeah.
And I played Final Fantasy 13, and as you know what kind of Final Fantasy gamer I am. You know the generation of Final Fantasy games that I came from.
Yeah.
Arguably the highest point in the series. I played 13 and I loved it. And I was like, I think this is a really, really good game. Is it FF7, FF6? No. But I think this is a really, really good game. And people shit on that game. Just shit on it. And it's like, but look at the things.
Yeah.
Like, look at all the things that happen.
Or even like Nintendo. Sorry.
No. Fire away.
Oh, even like Nintendo, like, oh, they're milking Mario. It's like, is Mario still one of the fucking funnest platforms out there? Oh, yeah. Well, then why are you bitching?
Yeah, exactly.
We should be thankful that we are still getting amazing Mario games like 30 years after.
Like Super Mario 3D World.
Yeah.
Is really fucking fun.
One of the best.
You can make him a cat.
One of the best in the series.
Right.
It's like, there's so many things. Like when I write the article, I'm actually going to come up with kind of a list of things.
Right.
Like off the top of my head, I can't think. But it's just so much shit and you can probably apply this to most fans of things, I guess.
Yeah, fair enough.
Probably. I don't know.
You
Maybe not,
probably can.
But gamers, just because games are so important to me, it's like you guys don't appreciate anything. Like I kind of want games to go back to 8-bit just to piss everyone
Just
off.
exactly. That's a world where Force Star 2 can be the way.
I'm not shit talking 8-bit, by the way.
No, fuck no.
A lot of my favorite games of all time are 8-bit, 16-bit.
Totally.
Like SNES, still the best system of all time.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
So, yeah.
I'll still play SNES games and just be like, I remember times like this. This is back when games were muscular level.
I can't play SNES games that I loved because I spent so much time playing them.
Well, that's
that
fair.
I'm just like, I'm done. Like,
That's fair.
I bought Earthbound. I
Earthbound.
never played it. I never played it when I bought it because I played it so much as a kid.
Yeah.
Super Metroid, one of my favorite games of all time, easily top 15. Bought it, played it for about 10 minutes, and was done.
Yeah.
And it's not because the game's shitty. The game is still so good.
Right.
But it's like I spent hours and hours and hours with that. So I just
It's
can't.
true.
I just can't do it anymore. Like,
Fair enough.
I can't play Chrono Trigger anymore because I spent too many hours with it. Right?
Yeah, fair enough.
It's not even criticism of the game. Those are some of the best games ever made.
It's true. There you go, folks. We gave you a little bit of video game content to take us out on. This was a very long episode, number 35 of the No Holds Barred podcast. We're back, and Tyler's and Nick have been playing nipple tag for 2 hours, and I've loved watching every minute of it. So
he stares me in the eye. It's like he's staring into my soul.
Well, he rubs his nipple suggestively. Is it possible to rub your nipple non-suggestively? Anyways,
I don't know.
I don't know. I could probably do it.
You're probably just gonna be like,
nothing going
just
on here.
having,
This is not sexy whatsoever.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for this week. We'll be back at you next week, fingers crossed, for what likely will end up being episode number 36. And for having really not much of anything planned, I think we did pretty good to fill over 2 hours of podcasting time.
Non-stop content.
Well, it gives you time to breathe on your topics a little.
It does,
because you're not like, we got to move on.
Yeah, it's like, no, we got to get this. We got to get this. Exactly. It's free flow. It's Smodcast.
Yeah.
It's
organic.
It's organic.
Organic.
Let's not. I apologize for relating us to Smodcast. That's
That's
an insult to us. Bam. Oh. Nailed it. Fuck Kevin Smith. I almost put you in NWO Wolfpack. And Kevin Smith cutting podcasts in the corner. I'd watch it. That'd be pretty great wrestling angle. So that is it, folks. Episode 35 of the No Holds Barred podcast with our special guest Tar Seelig. And Tar, this makes you the only three-time podcast guest.
Three time.
Just like DDP with the WCW championship. Yeah. So that's it for episode 35. We'll see you next week for, again, what will likely be episode number 36. I'm Justin.
I'm Nick.
I'm Tyler.
And we are gone skis for another week, and we will see you again next time.
And look at the camera and say Fuzzy Pickles.
Fuzzy Pickles.
Fucky Pickles.
Fucky Pickles.
Fucky. Fuzzy.